Everything we've taught is now irrelevant. You see what the Federal Reserve has done, and the fact that inflation is running so hot, it would start to beg the question, what in the world are they going to do in order to prevent a hyperinflationary scenario? It is nearly impossible to actually go away from the trend they're heading, and yet they're pushing further and further and further. You could suggest that they don't have another choice, but I beg to differ. In today's video, I'm going to show you what's happening on the anecdotal level and on a consumer level, because that's going to tell us a different story from information that I've provided previously. You look at that, you can see the inflation numbers here and there, the jobs numbers, but what are people saying? I think that's more important to you and I. I'll give you a few little bits of insight in here, and I want to show you what's happening because this is getting serious. Let me begin by showing you the article that highlights Moody's cuts outlook on US banking system to negative, citing rapidly deteriorating operating environment. Very clear that we've seen this, and ultimately it doesn't matter what Moody's would say, but it does bring up a very good point. The big three rating firm cited a rapidly deteriorating operating environment despite regulators' efforts to shore up the industry. We know what's happening, and that is inflation's running way too hot. The banking system isn't as strong as it supposedly, we were told, because even a safe investment, this is not, something that is, ninja loans and all these different things, the chaos we saw back during the housing crisis, not tulips. We're talking about something that they told us was so safe and sound, and that created a problem. The financial system is frail, it's fragile, and we realize that time and time again. Look, the problem we saw just now and in 2020 and maybe 2008, it's going to be different every time. But we got to understand that the average person, what the average person is doing is ultimately the best indication of what's going on. We see the buyer patterns change. We've got to react to that and figure out why. That's going to tell us a story of why, because we're going to look at the data that corresponds to this, but not the, inflation numbers, job numbers, unemployment numbers. No, the real stuff. Let me show you something. Here it is. It is an article about basically a guy taking his 5-year-old son bowling. They, get the bill, $418. This strikes me as outrageous for a pedestrian family activity. Okay. Other prices, they're just talking about that, and it doesn't really matter about bowling. And the whole idea is that we're paying so much more for certain things, services included in that, and it's not just products necessarily, not just your food prices and things, but it seems like everything today is so much more expensive. And it's as if people have unlimited bank accounts today. I mean, you watch the way that people spend. Some people, the way that they spend, you would think they have a money tree growing in their backyard. It really does look like that. Everybody's driving a top of the line vehicle. Everybody's spending. You go to the mall. I just recently went to a mall, and these people, they're all holding the highest end name brand bags, and they don't, like, I know, of course, don't judge a book by its cover, but not somebody that's being chauffeured around in a Rolls Royce. It's just, normal people. And they have what seems like an unlimited amount of money. I saw people going to some sort of specialty coffee shop where the coffees and, basic, like a pastry or whatever, I don't know what they were eating, but we're talking about something that would be equivalent US dollar, let's say nearly $10 each. Who's going to pay more than Starbucks, where the Starbucks would be like a ridiculous price, more than that, maybe even double that, for something that's so simple, a consumable like this? It's because for some people, they have the money to spend. Yeah, they might be putting it on their credit card, but they're spending that money. It's so unusual. Do you have any other stories like this? I'd like to know. Put them down below. We need to get that community aspect of this channel going. I've learned a lot from you. Look here, National Consumer Rage Survey points to troubling trend among U.S. consumers. It's interesting, in this article here, they talk about how upset people have been. They surveyed them and essentially saying that they've been so upset with the product or service and they're raging out. I think part of that is the fact that people are paying more money than ever before. I've been upset, and I get upset a lot with different companies. In fact, I just had an example today. I argued with, basically, if you want barcodes, I don't know if you're aware of this, barcodes on the back of all packages, they are from one company, GS1, okay? So the products that I sell, I don't sell many different products, but for these different reasons, they put me into this category where I had to be in the higher tier. And I asked them, I said, well, I don't have a choice. I have to use your service, but I don't like your business model. Why do I have to do that? And they said, well, we're a not-for-profit company. So basically, we're not trying to make money off of it, but you're in this tier, therefore you have to pay more money. And I said, but I don't really have a choice. I would rather go away from you, but I can't. And they basically said, well, nobody, he literally said, nobody's forcing you to use us. That's what they said. And that's part of the rage survey. I was upset, rightfully so, because of what's happening. I'm paying more for a service, a barcode. I need a barcode. I can't make one up myself. You're forced to use a GS1 barcode, and yet the prices, as a result, have been elevated. Everywhere the prices have been elevated. It's everything. Inflation is being baked in because the dollar is losing its value. That's why. Shoplifting climbs as in-store shopping returns. People are going back. They're shoplifting. Nobody's going to stop them. If it's under so many dollar value, they don't even care. Cops won't care. Cops won't respond. How much did they steal? Oh, it's $800? Not coming. Good luck with that. Tyson Foods to lay off 1,700 workers, closed 2 chicken plants. This is happening at a time in which other food suppliers, including PepsiCo and Beyond Meat, have laid off workers in recent months to cut costs. The easiest way to cut costs is fire some people. Stock market loves it. Meta to lay off 10,000 more workers after initial cuts in November. This is now becoming significant because, look, they're now getting rid of tens of thousands of people and probably will continue. They blame it on metaverse factor. They went too hard into the metaverse and this and that. But it's basically all companies. All companies are doing this. And, they're getting rid of the layers of middle management. And that's something that what happens, I find, in a company. If you ever worked for a big company, you see that. You really do see that, in which there's just too many the manager, a team leader reports to a supervisor, reports to a manager, reports to a senior manager, reports to a director, reports to a VP. Oh my goodness, to get anything done, the red tape is beyond what's acceptable. And that's why things are too slow. These companies are too slow. They it's just all red tape, it's all meetings, it's all garbage. And then what happens? Bunch of layoffs. This is what we're experiencing right now. 75% of Americans who moved last year have regrets. And you got to look at this. They weren't expecting the costs. It's so crazy. When 2020 happened, people who were always living the city life, then moved out into the country, they couldn't deal with it. The consumer is, like this wild environment, and it's going to be hitting them real hard. Unless interest rates fall down to the ground, the money printers turn on, and they start throwing stimulus checks at people. That's what I expect to occur. This would be very disastrous in the end, but that would be what they can do to temporarily bring things back into order. Luxury home sales plunged 45%, with Miami and the Hamptons hit the hardest. I think this is multiple factors here. I think a lot of people are simply just waiting out. It's not that they don't have the money. They're just waiting it. They're saying, why am I going to do this right now? I don't really care. This is what a lot of individuals are expressing at this time from what I've seen. I think it's unusual, but we could see that the consumer is definitely in a very different place than they were back in maybe 2021. So I'm going to pay attention to it. I want to know what you think. What have you seen in the people around you? Are they carrying, Louis Vuitton and all these around with them? Or are they being more modest and careful during this period of time? Are you experiencing higher prices on your gas bills, gas at the home, and of course gas at the gas station? Are you experiencing higher prices on services? Somebody wants to, come to your house to fix a certain thing. Now they're charging twice as much as before. What is it? Let me know. I think it's really important that we look at the anecdotal evidence as well, the buyer patterns and everything's that have changed over this period. If you found this informative, if you like this video and you appreciate it, please let me know. As always, hit subscribe and come back tomorrow to the Money GPS because I got some really good stuff coming. See you then. Take care.